Hello everyone, I'm Babla Jonathan and this is the 6 p.m. primetime newscast of Equinoxe Television. Thank you for joining us. We are Equinoxe Television. We are independent, we are fearless, we are credible. Thank you for trusting us. In our top stories, Limbe floods turn deadly, 3 confirmed dead as torrential rains inundate the city in the southwest region of Cameroon. Homes, schools, markets and health facilities swamped, leaving residents stranded and homeless. Martinez Zogo capture murder trial. Defense challenges police investigation. Cross-examination exposes alleged procedural gaps as prosecution defends its case. Three persons have been confirmed dead and 1 other person receiving treatment as a result of floods in the town of Limbe in the southwest region of Cameroon today. Several parts of the town, amongst them health facilities, markets, homes and schools, were invaded by water, leaving many residents homeless and stranded. Rex Afon files in greater details from the southwest region.
This is Limbe today, August 5th, 2026.
This is the road leading to the Manga Williams Avenue. It is an area that has been flooded, as you can see. I can't go further there because the level of the water is quite high and I may get, I don't have a life jacket on if I get there. I don't know how to swim either. So if I get there, I may end up being missing, like so many others that have been missing in recent years due to heavy downpour and overflowing in the town of Limbe.
After just over 15 hours of relentless rainfall, most parts of the town are now feeling its impact.
About the current situation of Limbe, it is very dangerous at the moment to access some people's houses at the junctions. Like for my case, I came here to do some medical checkup at the hospital. It's unacceptable. Patients are living out of the hospital. The doctor is not even on duty. Everywhere is water. We can't have access to our daily jobs.
This is a hospital at Down Beach. Water has now become the main occupant of the area.
We are moving into the hospital that has been flooded with water. As you can see, this is a hospital. But look at the level of water. Look at where water is reaching my left. And this is the nature of things here. You wonder where the patients are. Afternoon, bro. Are you taking care of a patient here?
Yes.
Where are the patients? There's nobody in the hospital.
The family of a young woman who gave birth here just a few hours ago is being forced to swim through the waters with her in search of a safer place. This is Church Street, where people and their luggage are being ferried across the flood waters.
We are at Church Street in Limbe. This area harbors one of the most busy markets in the town. And as you can see, the place is buried in water.
Water won't move with beyond fast recording.
Vehicle owners are beginning to wonder whether they should buy boats instead of cars during this rainy season.
My car turned a canoe in Limbe. I cannot buy a car for more than 300 million to come and turn canoe in Limbe. It's very shameful thing. My car turned a boat. So it's better to buy a boat than to buy a car.
In Mbende Kwata, 3 people have lost their lives after heavy rains triggered a landslide that buried them beneath the soil.
We are at the mortuary now. As you can see, right behind me are mourners who have come to cry the departure of 3 persons who died as a result of the heavy downpour today.
The noise from the backyard, the loud noise, so I rushed out to find out what was going on. I happened to see my neighbor's house completely down. I mean completely down. It was very, very shocking.
This spot at Mile 4 is a disaster waiting to happen.
We can only call for the government to do a proper town planning in Limbe.
The town is yet to get into the heart of the rainy season, and they are already experiencing this. I am Rex Afon, Equinoxe Television.
Thanks a bunch, Rex Afon, for those updates from the town of Limbe in the southwest region of the country. We'll continue monitoring the situation in Limbe, and we'll be updating you on the situation in that part of the southwest region of the country. In the report coming up next, Cedric Chakuto takes us through the horrible 54-kilometer Bafang-Kongjok road in the west region of the country. The road is in an advanced state of dilapidation, and moving across the road, traffic has become very difficult, more or less a nightmare for commuters, and transport fares also increase as a result of the bad state of that road. Cedric Chakuto reports.
On the Bafang-Kongjok road, mud has taken over. Vehicles are immobilized, motorcycles struggle to climb the hills, trucks are trapped in the mud. Traveling these 54 kilometers has become a real ordeal. Here, every journey requires patience, courage, and sometimes several helping hands to get out of these holes.
I am walking by foot because I live very far my motor. How can I continue my route without the motor? But we will do well.
Every trip comes at a high price. Between mechanical breakdowns, long hours of waiting, and soaring transportation costs, users are the first to suffer the consequences.
From Kongjok, we get Kankanti, Cocoa, to come on Kongjok.
They say it now costs up to 5,000 francs for a seat in a car without luggage and 10,000 francs for a motorcycle. This situation for them is all the more incomprehensible given that Kongjok is a major agricultural center.
Anything barren plenty, it come out from Kongjok. Where we fit take and go sell them for Bafang.
But without a usable road, producers and traders struggle to transport their harvest to market, to the detriment of the entire local economy.
But again now, it don't overspray.
More than 3 years after the launch of a project to rehabilitate this 54-kilometer road, estimated at 4.5 billion francs CFA, according to local residents, the work seems to have stalled.
Almost to 3 years. Our president promised with the route.
They say the few pieces of equipment visible remain idle while the rains worsen the road's condition daily.
We come from Kongjok, we look the route and give our promise.
With the beginning of the school academic year approaching, concerns are growing. Students, teachers, traders and transporters fear another difficult season on this strategic road. Residents are therefore calling on the authorities to resume work immediately in order to end Kongjok's isolation and restore this road to its role as a true engine of local development.
New questions have emerged over the investigation into the murder of journalist Martinez Zogo as Colonel Jean-Pierre Otutu, the judicial police officer who headed the investigation and authored the prosecution's case file, underwent another day of intense cross-examination before the military court on Tuesday, August 4. December, defense lawyers challenged key aspects of his investigation, exposing what they describe as procedural gaps, while prosecutors maintain their case against the accused. Innocent Aze has a summary of Tuesday's hearing in the following report.
During the second hearing this week at the military court, lawyers of Lieutenant Colonel Justin Danwe and businessman Jean-Pierre Amogu Belinga subjected Colonel Jean-Pierre Otolo to hours of questioning. Despite the sustained cross-examination, the investigators' central allegation remained unchanged, that Danwe had confessed Amogu Belinga ordered him to silence Martinez Zogo and handed him 2 million francs CFA after seeking his assistance to obtain an advance payment of 23 million francs CFA. However, the hearing also brought several significant admissions. Colonel Otolo acknowledged that investigators found no messages on the phones of Justin Danwe and Amogu Belinga directly planning the assassination. Instead, he said investigators relied on the unusually frequent communication between the two men before the killing, followed by an abrupt end to their exchanges. The investigator further admitted he neither secured the crime scene nor collected fingerprints after arriving there. He also revealed that additional videos allegedly showing Martinez Zogo being tortured exist but have yet to be presented before the court. Otolo was also unable to account for a second mobile phone belonging to the slain journalist, saying he may simply have forgotten about it. Lawyers for Amogu Belinga focused their questions on the legality of his arrest. Colonel Otolo admitted there was no written summons before the businessman was apprehended and no search warrant authorizing the search of his residence, insisting the operation was justified by the urgency of the situation. He further confirmed that Amogu Belinga was not under investigation before his arrest and that the decision to detain him followed statements made by former intelligence chief Leopold Maxime Eko. Earlier in the proceedings, Colonel Otolo also admitted investigators never pursued a lead involving a phone call received by Martinez Zogo's wife on January 18, 2023. The caller, allegedly linked to the Directorate General for External Research (DGRE), instructed her to go to the Nkoronkonzi Gendarmerie Brigade to find out what had happened to her husband. Asked why that lead was never investigated, the colonel replied simply, "I did not." After more than 6 hours of testimony, the court is now awaiting the expected face-to-face confrontation between Colonel Otolo and Leopold Maxime Eko, whom the investigator has also seriously implicated as proceedings continue in the closely watched criminal trial.
He is one of the traditional leaders in the crisis-stricken northwest and southwest regions of the Republic of Cameroon who have stayed in their palaces throughout the close to 10-year-long armed conflict raging in the predominantly English-speaking regions of the country. His Royal Majesty Fongwade III, the Fawn of Songwa in the northwest region of the country, has been accused of collaborating with separatist fighters to guarantee his safe stay in his palace. We put that question to him as he spoke to The Inside. Take a listen to what he said about the allegations of him collaborating with separatist fighters. Are you collaborating with Amber Boys, separatist fighters, to guarantee your safety in your palace all this while throughout the crisis, while some of your peers have gone out of the village and they are still out till now? Some have returned. Are you collaborating with separatist fighters?
I like that question. Once in my reign, one of my senior divisional officers asked me a question similar to this. Do you know the Amber Boys? And I answered him, they are my sons and daughters. I will not distance myself from them. But what I know, and I was born to know and believe, is what Songwa stands for. What the ancestors of our land laid as a foundation for Songwa people. We don't want anything that soils your hand with blood. Because in Songwa, we don't have anything that will ever cleanse that. If we go back to the Bible, you see the man called David was a warrior, despite the fact that he was empowered by God. But at the end of his life, God refused that he can't build a temple for him because he soiled his hands with blood. So when you soil your hands with blood, you can't cleanse it. There is no thing that will ever cleanse it. So in Songwa, we have refused and will continue to refuse anything that will harm a human being. So I can never, for any reason on earth, support anybody that would be killed, because I will never help him to cleanse. Somehow, for excitement, few Songwa people joined Amber. And in our prayers at our shrines, we say these children should come out. We never said a word to any of them. They should come out because Songwa foundation was not laid on blood, on fighting. We are not violent people. Where are you going to with this kind of things? And so when we pray and pray overnight, pray all night, pray midnight, the gods of our land heard, God Almighty heard, and released some of those guys who stayed with us in the village with no problem. They left Amber camps, came back and stayed as normal people. Some left the village and went out of town to other areas. And so we can't be collaborating with Ambers and then taking out our own.
I also asked His Royal Majesty Fongwade III of Songwa in the northwest region of the country how his community is managing to stand tall, more or less like an island in a turbulent sea, rejecting violence, rejecting the way of the gun, rejecting the manner in which they fight. The struggle for an independent Southern Cameroon or Ambazonian state is being undertaken by some of the indigenes of those two regions, notably those who have taken up guns and are fighting with the forces of law and order, or better still, the defense and security forces, and the government of the republic to restore an independent, or put in place an independent Ambazonian state. And this is what he said about this situation, and this within a context where those who take such positions against violence are often qualified as betrayers. Your Majesty, you know that there is something you must have heard about it. Some people have been qualified, some of us from the northwest and southwest regions, been qualified as blacklegs because of the fact that they have taken a position similar to your position, the position that rejects violence, that rejects killing, rejects the way of the gun, not necessarily ignoring or rejecting the problem, but saying that this is not the way. It's not by killing that will solve any problem. It's not by shedding human blood that we're going to solve the problem. And such people have been qualified as blacklegs. Are some of your sons and daughters from Songwa not being qualified as blacklegs? Are they not seen as betrayers of the cause? I mean, the cause for an independent Ambazonian state.
Thank you for this beautiful question. I want to relate that to something that happened to my person. At one point, social media portrayed me as having organized the bee to come and burn a market in my area of the other neighboring village. And it went social media. And my children, who are part of television and radio houses, were struggling to defend. And I told them, stop the noise. God will defend it. The truth shall set you free. That is it. All along, it is very difficult to live in that hostile environment without being accused as blackleg or middling with the Ambers. But neither ways, both the government or the administration and the Ambers have found my hands clean after thorough investigations. And because I am bold enough to stay home, they wonder aloud, what kind of a person is this? And most of the time when they come to me, even the Ambers who call me blackleg, I say, find out. I am one of the villages in the area there that has a lot of land matters, even before the Amber crisis. And that is one of the reasons why my elites did everything for me to leave home for the short time, 2 months or so that I stayed out. Is because of the neighboring with land crisis, they may use that as a stepping stone and then harm me. And I told them the land is the land and the crisis is the crisis. So this accusation of calling people blacklegs, you don't need to defend yourself. Most of the time, the biggest weapon we used was prayers against anything that will harm us or will disturb our village. The biggest was prayer, not noise making.
His Royal Majesty Fongwade III of Songwa. With Cameroon's elections drawing closer, the National Union for Democracy and Progress, NUDP political party, is moving to rebuild its political base in the far north region in Maga. Party leaders and supporters unveiled a strategy to win back lost ground, bring former militants back into the party, and gear up for a tough electoral battle within the ruling CPDM, or better still with the ruling CPDM political party. Immaculate Fokwe has more.
The National Union for Democracy and Progress, UNDP party, launches a fresh push to rebuild its political influence in the far north region ahead of upcoming elections. Party leaders, elected officials and supporters gathered in Maga in the Maridanite division of Cameroon's far north region for a strategic meeting aimed at reversing years of political decline.
Many members of the UNDP voted for the Cameroon National Salvation Front, CNSF, in the last presidential elections. That because they were not happy with our collaboration with the ruling CPDM party. But despite everything that has taken place, we must never lose hope and become discouraged.
Once a UNDP stronghold, Maga had allowed the party to control the local council for 2 consecutive terms before losing it to the ruling CPDM party. During the meeting, several participants blamed the party's former alliance with the CPDM for weakening its grassroots support and driving many militants to rival political parties.
Nous prions et nous souhaitons que la jeunesse se démarque.
We firmly believe that the youth of Maga must demonstrate their commitment through concrete action. We have what it takes to win elections here in Maga, even against the CPDM. We all know the strategy. The CPDM has been accused of using electoral fraud and voting buying, but our supporters remain convinced and determined. We are steadily regaining ground, and those who left the party are beginning to realize they made the wrong choice. We are confident that we are on the path to winning the upcoming elections.
For the UNDP party, the challenge now is to regain the confidence of former supporters and re-establish itself as a major political force in the Maridanite division ahead of future elections. To strengthen its comeback strategy, 4 commissions were created to oversee political strategy, finance, communication, and the implementation of resolutions.
Over 100 young people in Mumbo, in the Mumbo division, littoral region of Cameroon, have taken to the streets to clean up the municipality as the council officially launched its holiday activities. This is the 2nd edition of the program, and it comes at a time when council workers have gone for over 8 months without salaries. But the mayor of Mumbo, Asuma Shito Emmanuel, says there is hope and that better days lie ahead for the workers. Smart Jikankebe reports.
With nothing more than brooms, hose, and determination, more than 100 young holiday makers in Mumbo, Mumbo division, have hit the streets. The community cleanup exercise, organized by officials of the Mumbo Council, is aimed at giving the town a facelift while also helping the youth raise funds for the 2026-2027 academic year. Apart from the cleaning tools, the council also provided umbrellas to protect the young people from the rain as they carry out their holiday activities. For the participants, it's work service, and a chance to earn something for school.
At the end of the month, it's even helping us to even pay some of our school fees and also to buy some of our books, because it's helping our parents who don't have the amount of money to pay those who are always struggling. So it's the reason why we are here today to work for our community.
Council authorities say they hope that by the end of the exercise, Mumbo will wear a new look.
That is to put the cleanliness of Mumbo town and the various villages in Mumbo, like Bubu, Jungoro, Jungorai, Tangi, Mondek, and even Kwansi. Let payment of salaries. Yes. You know, my workers are paying off salaries. We don't have money in our covers to pay the workers.
But the council itself is facing serious challenges. The payment of salaries to council workers is still outstanding, a situation officials admit is weighing heavily on staff morale. We have been without pay for 8 months. We are hopeful that once the salaries are released, we can clear dues owed to our agents and address other critical matters in the council. As the young people sweep Mumbo clean, council leaders say they are hoping for government support to also clean up the council's financial challenges.
We are still waiting for the CRC that the government should give all. We should know how we can finance the workers.
The holiday job comes to an end after a month.
As public debates continue over irrational thinking and what many describe as inconsistencies in government communications and policy making, teachers of logic believe the subject offers a practical solution. They say logic conditions the mind to be coherent and consistent and also facilitates correct decision making processes. Rex Afon reports from Boya.
With the Cameroonian society increasingly being described as plagued by irrational thinking, poor reasoning, and unkempt behavior, teachers of logic argue that the subject has become more relevant than ever.
Logic is everywhere, even in the air that you breathe. You cannot do without logic. Because even food that you eat, every activity that you carry out, you must do it irrationally in order to be successful. So our main objective is to instill in young learners that critical thinking, that critical minds, be able to critically analyze issues before taking decisions, so that they don't take decisions that are not acceptable, they don't take decisions that are not correct. They should be able to take right decisions and draw right conclusions in life.
Introduced into Cameroon's General Certificate of Education ordinary level curriculum a decade ago, logic is said to have transformed the lives of many students.
But it helps you to lay a good foundation for as a springboard to do many things. So far of that, it was necessary to give this particular kind of thinking to all our students in the school environment, not just specific students, but everybody had to pass through this kind of methodic way of doing things.
Parents have been encouraged to enroll their children into the study of logic, with educators insisting that the subject nurtures critical thinking, moral judgment, and analytical skills that can positively shape every aspect of a child's life.
He thinks must think logically. And that is why we felt that we should do something at that level to make sure that the critical approach in philosophy starts with the younger minds. And that's how we thought we should include philosophy, logic, ordinary level logic, to make sure that thinking goes well.
Teachers of logic converged in Boya to commemorate 10 years since the subject was introduced into the GCE syllabus, reflecting its impact while advocating for its wider promotion across the country's education system.
And that's it for this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast of Equinoxe Television. Thank you for staying with us. God bless Cameroon. God bless Africa. Goodbye.